This morning when I came out, what did my wife say? She said, "我听你在放屁." I still don't know what it means, but it probably means
somebody can write a comment.
Probably means something like, "Honey, I'll miss you," or something like that. If you ask me what my favorite Taiwanese food is, it's very funny actually, but it's stinky tofu. I don't know why, but 我真的很爱吃臭豆腐. And I probably know every good place to get stinky tofu throughout Kaohsiung, from fried to spicy tofu in a bowl. I really love it.
Hello everyone, my name is Amade, and today I have a very special guest with me for the new episode. He has set foot in Taiwan for the first time 38 years ago. Yes, correct, that is before I was even born. So he has tons of fascinating stories to share with us. He also gonna tell you why in all the countries in the world he would pick Taiwan as a country where he retired.
Hello everyone, my name is Robert and I'm from the United States, from Boston, Massachusetts.
So what is really impressive to me about Robert is, I was born basically with the computers at home, and in my early teens I have access to the internet. Traveling and looking for traveling information was very easy, but what I really find fascinating, you did come to Taiwan almost 40 years ago, and how did you come up with this idea?
At university I had a language requirement, and I had studied Spanish through high school, but I wanted to study something more interesting, something where I could learn a different culture. And at that time, business with Japan was very strong, so I thought maybe I should study Japanese. But I found my first semester roommate had spent a year studying Chinese, and if I switched from Japanese to Chinese, then I didn't need to buy the textbooks and I could save $20. And so for $20, here I am in Taiwan. After I had studied 2 years of Chinese at university, I was able to get a scholarship to come and study Chinese at Donghai University in Taichung. And it was a very wonderful experience for me.
Okay, so how do you learn Taiwanese? Because it's very hard to
Well, yeah, I don't really study Taiwanese. Often my wife might say something to me in Taiwanese, and usually what I'll do is I'll go down to the first floor and ask the security guard, "Hey, what does this mean?" This morning when I came out, what did my wife say to me? I didn't have a chance to ask the guard. She said, "我听你在放屁." I still don't know what it means, but it probably means
somebody can write a comment.
Probably means something like, "Honey, I'll miss you," or something like that.
For the last 12 years, more or less, you've been traveling back and forth to spending half year in Taiwan, half year in US, is that correct?
Yes, mostly back and forth, and it gets a little tiring. We usually go back to the US in the summer and always spend the winter in Taiwan. Where I come from in Boston, the winters are very cold, and typically it snows for as many as 5 months a year. And the summers in Taiwan are hot and humid, more so than New England, where I'm from. So it's always been a good way to enjoy the best of both countries. But last year, I decided to sell my house in Boston, and we'll live primarily in Taiwan from here on out.
Travel probably 30 or even more than 30 countries, and you basically retired, and you could pick any place in the world. And why did you choose Taiwan?
For a number of reasons. Life in Taiwan is really super convenient. Anything you need you can find. It wasn't so when I first came, but it's certainly so now. Any type of food, any kind of service, it's very dependable. Taiwan has excellent Wi-Fi.
Do you have any problems communicating with the doctors in Taiwan? How do you feel when you...
Communicating with the doctors? No, really no problem. Most doctors speak English. All doctors write in English. Some of my doctors I speak Chinese to, but I notice when they're writing notes, all of their notes are in English. It's very interesting. But I will say this, you know, I have doctors in the United States and in Taiwan. I love my Taiwanese doctors. To me, healthcare in Taiwan is the best in the world. Much better than what I had in the United States, and affordable for the people. I consider myself very lucky to be here in Taiwan and have such good care. And Taiwan has perhaps the most delicious fruit in the whole world. There's nothing that compares to Taiwanese mangoes or pineapples or guava. You know, so many good fruits. People in Taiwan are spoiled by how many good fruits they have. You know, if you ask me what my favorite Taiwanese food is, it's very funny actually, but it's stinky tofu. I don't know why, but
我真的很爱吃臭豆腐。
Well, how did you come up with like first time, like your first reaction to it?
Well, the first time I smelled it, I was very curious and I went over, and I'm brave. I wanted to try something new, and with my first taste, I fell in love. And I probably know every good place to get stinky tofu throughout Kaohsiung, from fried to spicy tofu in a bowl. I really love it.
三立新闻网，台湾前3大新闻网站，影片累积观看数超过30亿。94要客诉，2020台美4次大选蝉联发烧影片第1名。人生惊叹号，台湾最温暖、正能量的人生故事都在这里。订阅三立新闻网 YouTube 频道，并且按赞、开启小铃铛。国内外大小事，下载三立新闻网 App， 即时新闻不漏接。